Episode 4 picks up in the messy aftermath of Belly and Jeremiah's surprise engagement announcement. No one is okay. The trailer opens with a haunting silence that says it all. This family has been rocked to the core. Susanna's memorial was meant to bring healing, but Belly's choice turned it into a battlefield of emotions. And as everyone tries to pretend they're fine, the truth is, no one is. Laurel is devastated. Stephen is furious. And Conrad? He's completely hollowed out. What hits hardest, though, is that Belly doesn't seem to fully grasp the destruction she's caused. In her mind, she's chasing love, but to everyone else, she's sprinting away from a truth, from herself. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is doing everything he can to hold this engagement together, even though deep down he knows it's shaky ground. He tries to comfort Belly, tries to be the guy she wants him to be, but the cracks are already there, and he can't fill the silence that lingers every time Conrad walks into the room. And trust me, that silence is louder than any fight. Taylor, still reeling from the news, becomes the only voice of honesty in Belly's orbit. She doesn't sugarcoat it, she doesn't play nice. She calls out Belly's impulsiveness, her blindness, her fear, because that's what this engagement really is. A fear response, a way for Belly to protect herself from the pain Conrad caused her. But the truth? She's still in love with him. That's why she can't look him in the eye. That's why her voice shakes when she talks about the future. And that's why, in every quiet moment, she's second-guessing everything. Even the ring on her finger feels heavy, and when she takes it off just to sleep, she wonders why it feels like a relief. Meanwhile, Conrad is spiraling. His heart is breaking in slow motion, and the worst part is, he's letting it happen. He's too proud to beg, too heartbroken to fight, but you can see it in his eyes. Every time Belly walks past him with Jeremiah, every time she avoids his gaze, it kills him a little more. And the trailer shows us a version of Conrad we haven't seen before. He's not just sad. He's drowning. In guilt. In what-ifs. In the memory of every moment he thought she'd be his. Agnes, his fiery red-headed best friend, tries to pull him back from the edge. She pushes him to talk to Belly, to fight for what he wants. But even she knows this fight might already be lost. Then comes the moment that changes everything. In a brief flash in the trailer, we see Laurel take matters into her own hands. She calls Conrad, not to hurt him, but to save her daughter. Because Laurel sees what Belly can't. This isn't love. It's panic. It's escape. And maybe, just maybe, Conrad is the only one who can wake Belly up before she makes a mistake she can't undo. The question now is, will he do it? Will he finally speak the truth? Or will he let her go once and for all? And if he does speak up, will she listen? Because let's face it, once you say yes to someone, how do you walk that back without destroying everyone? This episode is going to break a lot of hearts. And it's not just because of the love triangle. It's because we're watching a young girl lose herself in the noise of other people's expectations. We're watching a boy quietly shatter because he was too late. And we're watching another boy desperately try to hold on to something that was never fully his. It's messy, it's painful, and it's real. If the trailer is any sign, The Summer I Turned Pretty is about to deliver its most emotional, explosive, and unforgettable episode yet. As we move deeper into episode 4, the emotional weight starts pressing down harder on Belly, and this time, it doesn't let up. The trailer doesn't need to spell it out. It shows it in the smallest, most painful details. Belly waking up in the middle of the night, staring at her phone, not because Jeremiah texted, but because Conrad didn't. She keeps telling herself that she made the right choice, that this engagement is the fresh start she needs, but everything around her keeps whispering otherwise. Laurel is barely speaking to her. Stephen avoids eye contact. And Taylor, she keeps looking at Belly like she's watching her best friend slowly walk off a cliff, because that's what this is turning into. A slow, emotional freefall. The momentary thrill of saying yes is fading, and what's left behind is doubt and silence and the haunting presence of the one person she's trying to forget. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is trying harder than ever to prove he's the right guy. He's planning everything, from wedding ideas to travel plans, as if that ring on Belly's finger is already a done deal. But what he doesn't realize is that every time he pushes forward, Belly takes a step back. She smiles, she nods, she agrees, but her heart isn't in it. It's stuck somewhere else, somewhere between cousins and the memories of last summer. Jeremiah, for all his sweetness, is slowly becoming the thing Belly is afraid to confront. A safety net, not a soulmate. And while he doesn't say it out loud, you can see it in his eyes. He knows. He knows that no matter how many plans he makes, no matter how hard he tries to be enough, a part of Belly still belongs to his brother. And that part, it's not shrinking. It's growing louder, more impossible to ignore with every moment that passes. And then there's Conrad, still stuck in the quiet storm of what could have been. Agnes keeps urging him to move, to fight, to say something, anything, before it's too late. But Conrad has never been the guy who lays his heart bare. He holds everything in until it breaks him. And now we're seeing the cracks. He's distracted, cold, unfocused, not because he's angry, but because he's grieving. Grieving the girl who once chose him, grieving the future he almost had. And most of all, grieving the fact that he didn't say what he should have when he had the chance. The guilt is eating him alive because deep down, he knows this didn't have to happen. If he had just told Belly the truth earlier, if he had just been brave enough to say, "Don't go." But he didn't. And now he's watching her slip away, not to a stranger, but to his own brother. That's what makes this triangle so heartbreaking. It's not just about choosing between two people. It's about the things left unsaid, the timing that never aligned, the love that was always real but never easy. And now in episode 4, we're watching all of that collide. The trailer hints that Belly and Conrad will finally talk. Really talk. But not in the way fans might expect. It won't be romantic. It won't be sweet. It will be raw, tense, filled with half sentences and long pauses. Because what do you say to the person you still love when you've promised your life to someone else? It's a question Belly will have to face, whether she's ready or not. And whatever decision she makes next, it won't be clean. It won't be perfect. It will hurt someone, maybe even herself. And somewhere in the middle of all this emotional chaos, there's still the shadow of Susanna. Her absence looms over everything. This was supposed to be the summer to honor her, to hold her memory close. But instead, it's becoming the summer of shattered connections. Laurel, who has always been the anchor in Belly's life, now feels more distant than ever. And that loss, that fracture in their mother-daughter bond, might be the one that hurts the most. Because Laurel was never just a parent. She was Belly's guide, her protector, her moral compass. And now Belly is drifting without her, making choices that Laurel can't support, and maybe never will. As episode 4 unfolds, the emotional tension will only get worse. Every character is reaching a breaking point, and the trailer makes one thing very clear. No one is walking away from this unscarred. Some truths will finally be spoken. Some relationships will begin to fall apart, and one moment, one brutal, honest, devastating moment, will change everything Belly thought she knew about love, loyalty, and herself. This isn't just the fallout from a rushed engagement. This is the unraveling of everything that once held this group together. And the threads are snapping fast. There comes a point when silence becomes louder than screaming, and that's exactly where Laurel is right now. She's not yelling. She's not fighting. She's just watching her daughter fall headfirst into a life she's clearly not ready for. And that's what makes it so painful. Laurel isn't just Belly's mother. She's her protector, her anchor, the one person who has always known how to guide her through the mess. But now, even Laurel feels powerless. Because no matter how many times she tries to talk sense into Belly, it's like shouting into the wind. Belly's convinced herself that saying yes to Jeremiah means she's finally choosing peace over pain. But Laurel sees the truth. She sees the fear in her daughter's eyes, the hesitation in her voice, and the ghost of Conrad still lingering behind every decision. And when a mother sees her child walking toward a mistake she can't stop, it doesn't just hurt. It breaks something inside. So Laurel makes a final move. She calls Conrad. Not because she wants him to chase Belly or start drama, but because she knows that if anyone can make Belly pause, it's him. The quiet boy who once held her daughter's heart so tightly it scared her. Laurel doesn't trust many people, but she knows Conrad. She knows his love for Belly isn't a game. It never was. And maybe, just maybe, his words can break through the fog Belly's wrapped herself in. But calling Conrad isn't just a turning point for Belly. It's a reckoning for him, too. He's been running from his feelings, hiding behind logic, burying his pain in silence. But Laurel's call forces him to confront what he's been avoiding all along, that if he doesn't speak now, he may never get another chance. And that thought terrifies him, because as much as it hurts to love Belly from afar, it would hurt even more to watch her walk down the aisle, knowing she was never truly his. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is starting to unravel, not in anger, but in quiet desperation. He's doing everything he can to hold on to Belly, to prove he's the right choice. He's planning a future, pretending like everything is moving forward. But behind his eyes, you can see it. That flicker of fear, that question he can't shake. What if she still loves him? He doesn't say it. He doesn't want to believe it. But the signs are everywhere. The way Belly flinches when someone mentions Conrad's name. The way she gets distant whenever they talk about wedding dates. And worst of all, the way she looks at Jeremiah sometimes, like she's trying to convince herself she's happy. And he notices. Of course he does. Because he's not stupid. He's in love. And people in love see everything, even when they pretend not to. The trailer gives us a glimpse of a conversation that could change everything. Jeremiah finally asking the question out loud. Do you still love him? It's quiet, almost a whisper, but it hits like a thunderclap. And Belly, she doesn't answer. Not right away. Because the truth is sitting there between them, heavy and undeniable. And Jeremiah knows. The smile he's been forcing starts to fade. Because no matter how hard he tries, he can't compete with the past. He can't erase history. And deep down, part of him always knew that Belly's heart was never fully his. It was just on loan. And now he's watching the return process begin. But even through all this heartbreak, Belly is trying to hold it together. She's convincing herself that this is what she wants, that love means choosing the person who stays, not the one who hurt you. And maybe that's true. But love is also messy, irrational, wild. And that's what she felt with Conrad. The kind of love that keeps you up at night, that scares you because it's so real. The kind of love that never really goes away, no matter how far you run or how many times you say yes to someone else. And in episode 4, Belly is going to learn the hard way that ignoring that kind of love doesn't make it disappear. It just makes everything else fall apart. Even Taylor, who has tried so hard to be supportive, is starting to break. She sees her best friend losing herself, trying to be someone she's not, and she's tired of pretending it's fine. In one intense moment, teased in the trailer, Taylor and Belly have a confrontation that feels long overdue. Taylor accuses her of lying, not just to Jeremiah, but to herself. She tells Belly that love isn't about proving a point or avoiding pain. It's about truth. And if Belly can't be honest about what she feels, she has no business getting married. Belly lashes out, of course. That's what she does when the truth hurts. But even as she walks away, her hands shake. Because she knows Taylor is right. She's been lying to herself for weeks. And now the truth is catching up. And that truth isn't just about who Belly loves. It's about who she is. Because in chasing this idea of a perfect summer, a perfect romance, a perfect future, she's losing the girl who once knew what she wanted. She's trying so hard to rewrite the story that she's forgetting the most important part. You can't outrun your heart. And as she prepares to leave for Paris, a plan Jeremiah made to distract her from the chaos, Belly is beginning to realize something terrifying. She doesn't want to run. She wants to stop, to breathe, to feel what's really going on. And that might mean calling everything off, or at least pressing pause. Because marrying someone when your heart still beats for another, that's not just unfair, it's cruel. Episode 4 is shaping up to be the emotional climax we've all been waiting for. The trailer doesn't show us explosions or big fights. It shows us quiet devastation. A girl questioning everything. A boy realizing he's not the one. Another boy facing the truth he's been too scared to say. And a mother watching it all, praying that her daughter figures it out before it's too late. This isn't just another episode. It's the moment the entire season has been building toward. And by the end of it, nothing will be the same. Not the engagement, not the friendships, and definitely not the love triangle. Because once the truth is out, there's no going back. There's something deeply haunting about goodbyes you're not ready for, especially when you know they might be permanent. And in The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3, Episode 4, The goodbye on the horizon isn't just a farewell to cousins or to summer, or even to childhood. It's a goodbye to the illusion that everything will be okay if we just pretend hard enough. The trailer quietly sets up Belly's upcoming trip to Paris, a romantic escape that was supposed to be the first step into a new chapter with Jeremiah. But instead of excitement, all we see is hesitation. Her bag sits half-packed. Her eyes don't shine. Her smile falters. Because even as she prepares to board a plane to the city of love, the only person she can't stop thinking about isn't the one she's flying away with. It's the one she's trying to leave behind. Laurel, ever the careful observer, senses this. She doesn't argue anymore. She's past that now. All she does is watch her daughter with quiet sadness, because Laurel knows that running to Paris won't erase anything. It won't make the doubt go away. It won't make Jeremiah the right choice. And it won't stop Belly from thinking about Conrad. What it will do, though, is buy her time. Time away from the people who see through her. Time to breathe, to process, to maybe even collapse if she needs to. Laurel doesn't approve, but she lets Belly go because sometimes letting someone make their own mistake is the only way they'll ever learn. But before Belly leaves, Laurel gives her one final gift. She asks Conrad to talk to her, not to stop her, not to beg, just to say goodbye properly. That's where the trailer hits hardest. The moment Conrad walks up to Belly before her flight is a storm of emotions packed into just a few seconds. He's calm, too calm. The kind of calm that only comes when someone is holding back everything they really want to say. He tells her to have a good trip, that she deserves happiness, that he hopes she finds what she's looking for. Every word is soft, measured, respectful, and absolutely heartbreaking. Because what he's really saying is, I still love you, but I won't stand in your way. Belly, on the other hand, can barely hold herself together. She smiles. She thanks him. But her hands are shaking. Her voice cracks. And when she looks into his eyes, she knows this isn't closure. This is a wound that will never fully heal. But the pain isn't just in their goodbye. It's in everything they never said. Conrad doesn't tell her that he's still in love with her. Belly doesn't admit that she's still dreaming about what could have been. They both pretend one last time that they've moved on, that they're fine, that this is how it's supposed to end. But the moment Belly turns to leave, the look on Conrad's face says it all. He's not okay. He never will be. And the only person who could make it better is walking away from him again. For the second time, he's losing her. Not because he did something wrong, but because he didn't do enough. And that guilt? It's going to stay with him. And as Belly boards that plane, something shifts in her. She thought this trip would be a beginning, but now it feels more like an escape. Her chest is heavy, her heart is loud, and even as she sits next to Jeremiah, smiling for photos, pretending to be excited, her mind keeps drifting back to the boy she said goodbye to. Because nothing about this feels real. It feels forced, fragile, like one wrong word could shatter it all. And deep down, she knows. Love isn't supposed to feel like this. It's not supposed to be something you have to convince yourself into. It's not supposed to feel like betrayal. But that's exactly what it feels like she betrayed herself. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is doing everything he can to hold it together. He's acting excited, taking care of the details, trying to soak up every second with Belly before the doubt creeps back in. But he knows it's there. He can feel it every time Belly zones out, every time she flinches when someone says a certain name, every time her phone lights up and she hesitates before picking it up. Jeremiah isn't dumb. He knows she's slipping through his fingers, and there's nothing he can do about it. Because no matter how much he loves her, and he does love her, love isn't enough when it's one-sided. And for the first time, Jeremiah is starting to realize maybe it always was. But here's the most devastating part. Everyone thinks the love triangle is about choosing between Jeremiah and Conrad. But it's not. Not really. It's about Belly choosing between the easy thing and the right thing. Between comfort and chaos. Between security and vulnerability. Jeremiah represents stability, predictability, the kind of love that doesn't hurt until it does. Conrad represents the unknown, the kind of love that terrifies you because it matters too much. And Belly has been running from that feeling ever since things got hard. Because loving Conrad means opening herself up to the kind of pain she's not sure she can survive again. But walking away from him might hurt even more.